What's going on, guys? Welcome back to more previews of the New York Giants. This is the last video for the offense, and we're going to be discussing something that the Giants have been slowly getting better at, but have always had a problem with the offensive line. And we're getting pieces together, and we could have drafted an offensive lineman in the draft, but I mean, there was some, people that we needed more than that. I mean, did we really need Paul Perkins? I mean, we could have got someone there, but were they really going to be good in the, fifth round where we got Paul Perkins? Not really. So, I mean, we look at our offensive line right now, projected starters right now, same thing how it was basically last year, right? Eric Flowers at left tackle, left guard Justin Pugh, center Weston Richburg, who made the top 101 players of 2015 on Pro Football Focus. Right guard John Jerry, and right tackle Marshall Newhouse. Now, we'll start from the left side. We'll go to the right. Eric Flowers, he was the worst pass protecting left tackle in the NFL in 2015. That's well, out of the starting tackles. Let me just say that. But run blocking, he is a decent run blocker, and that's why people projected him to be a right tackle. But the draft, I mean the injury that happened to Will Beatty, we had to put Eric Flowers at left tackle because we sure as hell weren't gonna put Marshall Newhouse at left tackle. That, guys, just think about that. I mean, yeah. So yeah, moving on to left guard, and by the way, I'll do depth later, but I'm not really worried about offensive line depth too much. So, because we still need starters. So, left guard Justin Pugh, he's had a great year at left guard. Guys, this is where he belongs. He did all right as a right tackle. He's done pretty well, and he's made his name known as a right tackle. Was he like elite as a right tackle? No, but he did his job. But at left guard, he's played it's so much better at left guard. So to me, Eric Flowers just needs to get better at left tackle. He really does. He was battling injury last year. Could that have been a reason? I'm not gonna give excuses for him. I think not because I mean he wasn't injured the whole season. So um, he did shut some defensive ends down, but I mean yeah, you can't dispute stats and statistics and stuff. So, yeah, Justin Pugh at left guard. I'm very confident in him at left guard. Moving on to center, we've got Weston Richburg, second round choice in the 2013 draft, along with Odell Beckham Jr. This was a kind of quieter kind of rising. He didn't really jump out onto the scene until like last year, where people really realized what he can do and how strong this guy is. Not only a good run blocker, but a decent pass blocker too. I mean, this guy is rising as one of the best centers in the league right now, and that's like for real. You would have never thought about that as a Giants offensive lineman, but he's really rising. 2 years ago, when he was drafted, he wasn't able to play the center position because of injuries. He had to play left guard, and he did all right there, but he's not the player he was now. And yeah, Giants fans, you should be excited by Weston Richburg. And on top of that, he's the leader of this offensive line. There's no doubt. He's the voice of the offensive line. So, moving on to the weak side of the line, right guard John Jerry. People think that John Jerry is a scrub because he's John Jerry, and he has a reputation of being a scrub. He did all right in the running game. It's his pass protection that really lacks, and yeah, that needs to get better. So there's gonna be some competition at right guard. You're looking at Adam Geddes, who's been competing for a while with us. You're looking at Bobby Hart, who's competing for both the right tackle and right guard position. And I got a theory that I'm gonna come up with that I'm gonna explain to you guys after this. So yeah, he's competing with some guys, so he really needs to step up and show that he should be a starting right guard. So moving on to right tackle, Marshall Newhouse. This guy is the real problem. Oh man, I think he's the one that allowed the most sacks on the team. I'm pretty much. I don't have any numbers for you guys, but um, yeah, this he's the problem, and I have a good theory right now. After I get into the depth here, Byron Stingley, who was signed from he was a Pittsburgh Steeler, but I think he played most of his career with the Tennessee Titans. He played right tackle a couple times. He started a few games, but he's nothing really special. He's just kind of a depth tackle. So I really see the Giants using him as a swing tackle, that third best offensive tackle that the Giants have to, either play the right side or left side depending on injury, depending on fatigue or whatever. He needs to fill in a role or whatever it is. So I expect him to be that kind of person because I think he's the best. The best. I mean, I don't think Bobby Hart will ever play left tackle. He's just not big enough. But yeah, I don't think he's athletic enough either. But yeah, I just see Byron Stingley being the swing tackle kind of guy. Moving down to the another offensive tackle, Jake Rogers, another scrub. Not worried about him. Moving on to the guards, we've got Ryan Seymour and Dylan Farrell. These were undrafted pickups by the New York Giants. These guys have like nothing on them. I researched them and everything. These guys have like nothing on them. I mean, the only thing that's good that they have is that they now have the same, because they were both on the 49ers, and now they now have the same offensive line coach because we signed Mike Solari from the 49ers offensive line coach, and they have the same coach or whatever. I mean, people always say that a player is better because they have the same coach they used to play for. I mean, that's not always the case. So, yeah. To the centers, we've got Brett Jones. He's a smaller guy. He's a center. He came from the Canadian Football League. I don't know much about him, but I know he was on injured reserve last year. I think he broke his leg or something like that. I'm pretty sure he broke his leg or something like that. But there's nothing much to compete for here. I think he might be competing for a guard position more than a center position because there's no way he's beating out Weston Richburg. Moving on to Shane McDermott. I think he's listed as a center too. I don't know much about him either. So yeah, so I'm going to go over my theory now. And we got Adam Geddes and Emmett Cleary, who are both guards competing for guard positions. So I'm going to discuss my theory here. I'm going to have left tackle Eric Flowers. He needs to get better, and if we drafted that guy in the first round, he damn sure better be a left tackle. So, especially with we drafted him with the 9th pick. Woo! We drafted him with the 9th pick. People talk about Eli Apple, okay? We're talking about we drafted an offensive lineman 9th overall, and he better be a good left tackle. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. Left tackle Eric Flowers. He has to get better. You got to throw him in the fire. Justin Pugh, left guard. Center, Weston Richburg. Now here's where I change it up a little bit. Right guard, Marshall Newhouse. And right tackle, Bobby Hart. I know it sounds crazy. I get it. It sounds crazy. You look at Marshall Newhouse. If you just look at the guy, you just say guard. He looks like an offensive guard. He's not athletic enough to be a tackle, and he gets beat by speed rushers all the time. He just doesn't have that side movement quickness. He doesn't have it, and so speed rushers are gonna beat him every time. He's not that strong, so he's gonna get beat on a bull rush. I get that defensive tackles are a bit stronger, but you're talking about defensive ends in this league that are strong and fast. So I think you just stick him in at guard and see what happens. And Bobby Hart, he played right tackle at the end of the season. He was mainly playing right guard in the season, and he had some snaps, and he did well there. But then he did play right tackle in college, and so he started playing right tackle for us late in the end of the year, and he didn't do a bad job at all. And actually, there's people talking about maybe he can win the right tackle spot. So I say he will. I say Bobby Hart on the right tackle spot, right guard Marshall Newhouse, and John Jerry will kind of switch. He'll fill in for Justin Pugh. He'll kind of be a swing guard kind of guy. So fill in for Justin Pugh here, fill in for Marshall Newhouse there. So that's my theory. I hope this offensive line gets better. By the way, a quick stat. Eli Manning only sacked 27 times last year. I know that's not anything great, like it leads the league or anything. It's average, right? It's average. I get it. But, do not think this offensive line is complete trash, because it's really not. I mean, this offensive line did very well in the running game towards the end of the season. They got their stuff together, and it wasn't always the offensive line's fault for the gaps. Andre Williams just ran into anybody he saw. He ran to his own offensive lineman all the time. So it also depends on the running backs too, guys. So yeah, we'll see how these offensive linemen shape up towards the start of the preseason. And yeah, in about 2 days or so, maybe I'll do it tomorrow. In about 2 days or so, I'll be doing defensive ends. I won't be doing. Matter of fact, I don't know if I should do the whole line, because there's a lot of competition out there. Maybe I'll do the whole line. We'll see. Maybe the whole defensive line. I'm gonna start off with the defensive line first. Maybe you'll see defensive ends first. Maybe you'll see defensive tackles first, or maybe you'll just see all of them together. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.